Traveling by air. There's hundreds of airports in Ontario. Some are only small domestic flights, and some airports provide international transport. The closest international airport to Strathroy is London International. Other nearby international airports are in Toronto and Hamilton. Each airport is given a 3-letter code maintained by the International Air Transport Association for easy identification. So if you fly anywhere, you should know what your airport code is. It'll be right on your ticket. And you need to know this for when you pick up your luggage. There's usually big posters and signs that say, okay, flights coming in from YYZ Toronto, or flights going to blah, blah, blah. So you need to know your code. So London's International Airport is YXU. Toronto Pearson International is YYZ. Hamilton is YHM. So when you want to find a flight, you will need to do some research and find ones that best suits your needs. There are several sites that you can use to search for flights from various companies. Here are a few examples. So when you go to Expedia, Trip Central, Travelocity, they usually are very competitive and find the best deals for you. They're not necessarily associated with a single airline. They actually do searches over several different airlines to find you something a little bit cheaper. Another way you can do it is look up the flights themselves. So you may also choose to search flights directly from the airline. Here are a few, but there's many more. So we have Air Canada, WestJet, Delta, United, JetBlue, Spirit Airlines, and there's more. So a couple advantages and disadvantages of flying. So one advantage is it's significantly faster. So if you wanted to, say, go to Florida, it's like a 2-hour flight versus a 24-hour drive. And flying's fun for some people. They enjoy getting in a plane, and it's a different experience. Some disadvantages, it can be very, very expensive, and some people are nervous to fly. They don't like to fly. Now, here's a sample of a ticket, and I've already put the answers in, but I just want to point out where you would look for these things. And this is important because at some point you'll probably fly and you'll have these tickets, and you need to find this information on your ticket itself. So I've kind of color coordinated. It says, what is the departure date? So I circled it in pink and I wrote it in pink. So it says departing, and then there's the date right there. So January 31st, 2014. What is the returning date? Well, I circled it in blue and wrote it in blue. So you have departure means leaving, and then returning means you're coming back. Then it says, what is the code for the Vancouver airport? And that's on your ticket as well. So in this case, it's YVR. The price needs to be on your ticket as well. So what is the cheapest cost when I did this search? Well, the cheapest one came out to be $702.66. And then it says, how many layovers are there? Well, there's actually 2 layovers. There's one in Calgary for 47 minutes, and then one in Edmonton for 50 minutes. And then it says, what is the name of the airline? Well, in blue, what we see is it's WestJet. WestJet is the airline. What is the departure time? I circled it in green. The departure time is 7 a.m. What is the arrival time? Well, the arrival time down here is 12:07 p.m. What is the length of the trip? Well, the length of the trip is 8 hours, 7 minutes, and there's 2 stops, it says. And then the last question asks, does the price include taxes and fees? And the answer is yes, it definitely includes taxes and fees. Then we have another example over here of another 2 possibilities for flights. So it says, how much would you save if you flew out of Toronto instead of London when going to Vancouver? Show your calculations. Well, on the previous ticket, it was $702.66. On this ticket, they're both the same. One's $612.26 and $612.26. So to calculate the savings, what you do is you subtract the 2, and it'll give you your total savings. And I would also recommend, if you're trying to book a flight, try a couple days before you want to leave and a couple days after. Sometimes one day will save you a couple $100. In this case here, it says, how many layovers do you have? There's no layovers. It's a non-stop flight. And it actually says that right on the ticket. It says nonstop for that one, nonstop for that one. Some people prefer nonstop. You get there quicker and less hassle. So it says, what are the possible departure times of the 2 flights listed? Well, one's leaving at 12:09 a.m. The other one's leaving at 8:40 p.m. What are the possible arrival times for the 2 flights listed? Well, the one arrival time is 12:09 a.m. and then the other one is 8:40 p.m. What is the duration of each trip? They're very, very close. The duration is 5 hours, 9 minutes, or 5 hours, 10 minutes. And again, that's written right on the ticket. You don't have to calculate it. 5 hours, 9 minutes, 5 hours, 10 minutes.